Hi, matey, and welcome to Talking TSIA2, the Math Test. Okay, so that's really not a very good pirate, but anyway, I'm super excited to have you here today. We got a really fun strategy that I want to talk to you guys about, and let's get started.
Well, really, I'm going to be talking about a specific math strategy. It's called plug and chug, but sometimes I like to call it a treasure hunt because that's what we're doing. It doesn't work on every problem, but when it does work, it's like finding buried gold. So that's what we're going to be looking for. Where can we find this buried gold? Let's learn plug and chug. So we might be able to use plug and chug when there are variables in the answer and in the problem. You can see in this example, the variable x is used both in the equation and in every answer. So we might want to replace the variable or variables with numbers we choose. Make them easier numbers. Numbers like 2, 3, 5, 10. Those are easy numbers that we can work with. But no matter what you do, please avoid using 0 and 1. They really don't work well in this situation. So we're going to try to plug in our number for the variable in the problem. We're going to plug in 2. So if I wrote that equation down from the top, instead of saying 3x minus 12 times x plus 4, we're going to say 3 times 2 minus 12 plus 2, or times 2 plus 4. All right, so when we think about order of operations, we're going to get a 6 minus a 12 times a 2 plus a 4. So I get a negative 6 times a positive 6. Booyah! Oh, we got a negative 36. That is our target answer. That is the buried treasure. I guess you could say X marks the spot. Okay, that was pretty bad. We want to find something that is equivalent to negative 36. I don't need the rest of that information anymore. I just need to know it's equal to a negative 36. Well, you know what? Let's chug through all the answers. Even if the first one works, it doesn't matter. We're going to chug the way through all the problems. It's kind of like that little train that could. You know, it kept saying, I think I can, chug, chug. I know, another corny joke. Okay, but that's what we want to think about. We have got to chug our way through every answer choice. Even if the first one works, the second one works, who knows? Chug through every problem. So remember, in our case, x was equal to 2. So if I plug 2 into answer choice A, you can see we get 3 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 16. That simplifies to be 3 times 4 minus 16 plus a 16. Whoa, that's 3 times 4, which equals 12. Guess what? 12 does not equal a negative 36. So now we try B. 3 times 2 squared minus 16. That's 3 times 4 minus 16. 3 times a negative 12. That's a negative 36. Sure enough, it does equal a negative 36. Is that my answer? I don't know. I have to chug my way through all the problems. Okay, answer C. 3 times 2 squared minus a 48. That gave me 3 times 4 minus a 48. 12 minus a 48. And sure enough, I get a negative 30. Oh, I got another negative 36. Well, I'm still going to go on to D. Let's see. 3 times 2 times 2 plus 4 minus 12 times 2 plus 4. That gives me 3 times 2 times 6 minus 12 times 6. Wow, this is a lot of work. Now we're going to have 3 times 12 minus a 72. 36 minus a 72, I get another negative 36. Hold on a second. Let's go back and read this question. It actually says which of the following is not equivalent to negative 36. Oh my gosh, be careful. Make sure you read the questions very carefully. Otherwise, it's very easy to make a mistake. You see why we wanted to chug through all these answer choices? If we just thought B worked, or we thought it worked, we would have completely missed this problem. Now that I realize it says which of the following is not equivalent, I realize the best answer choice should have been A. Good job. You found the buried treasure. Unfortunately, sometimes more than one answer may work. In that case, you will need to plug in another number and chug your way to the treasure again. But only check the answers that didn't work or that did work the first time. Okay? You don't have to worry about checking the ones if they didn't work. They're not going to ever work. All right? So that's plug and chug. Let's try another example. Last year, a bakery sold W loaves of bread. This year, the bakery sold 3 more than twice the number of loaves of bread sold last year. If next year, the bakery plans on selling twice the number, well, y'all, that's a lot of reading, isn't it? Okay? It doesn't matter. We realize that there is a W in the answer, and there's a W in all my answer choices. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a W in the problem, and a W in all my answer choices. So I'm just going to let W equal 2. It's an easy number to work with. Now let's read it again. Last year, a bakery sold 2 loaves of bread. This year, the bakery sold 3 more than twice the number of loaves of bread sold last year. Wait a second. That means last year we sold 2 loaves. Okay, so I can plug that in again. This year, the bakery sold 3 more than twice the number of 2. Okay. So this year, I did 3 more than. Y'all, we have a video on vocabulary words. If you haven't watched that video, you might want to check up on it. It helps remind you of some of the key words to look for when we don't know what the vocabulary means and how it translates into math. But more than means we want to add. So we have 3 plus twice the number 2. So 3 plus 2 times 2 is 7. That means this year I sold 7 loaves of bread. If next year the bakery plans on selling twice the number of loaves of bread it sold this year. Oh, that's right, it sold 7. That means next year I'm going to do 2 times 7. How many loaves of bread does the bakery expect to sell next year? 14. Just by plugging in our number, remember, plug and chug, now I've got to chug my way through every answer choice. I'm looking for 14. That's my target answer. That's the buried treasure. So if I plug in 2 for every answer choice, we can see I get a 4, 7, 11, and oh my goodness, the last choice gave me a 14. We found our buried treasure. We found our target answer. The correct answer here would have been that last answer choice. Making sense? All right, let's try one more. If n is the least of 2 consecutive integers, which of the following represents the sum of the 2 integers? Least means smallest. So we're kind of thinking about consecutive means one after another, or they're kind of in a row together. Odd integers. Numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. You get the point. So I'm trying to think about the least. So should I choose 1? 1's never a good number to choose. Well then, what about 3 and 5? Those are 2 consecutive odd integers. And in this case, that means my n is 3. It is the least of those 2 consecutive odd integers that I chose. Okay, which of the following represents the sum of the 2 integers? Okay, well remember we chose 3 and 5, so the sum of 3 and 5 is 8. We're looking for an answer that equals 8. So if I plug in n equals 3, I'm looking for a target answer of 8.
There be treasure there.
Yeah, there be the treasure that we're looking for. Aye, matey. Let's plug in n equals 3. I get a 4, a 5, a 7, and sure enough, Plugged and chugged my way through every answer choice. Last answer gave me an 8. So I'm going to choose 2n plus 2. Good job. All right, I lied. One more problem. Formula for the volume of a right cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. If r is equal to 2b and h is equal to 5b plus 3, what is the volume of the cylinder in terms of b? Oh my goodness. This problem looks horrible. But I noticed every answer choice had a b in it. Guess what? Half the problem had a b in it. Maybe I should make up my own number for b. I'm just going to let b equal 2. Let's plug in b equals 2. All right, so the first thing I did is I plugged it in for r. So I know r is equal to 2 times b, so that means it's 2 times 2. R is equal to 4. I look at the second equation, h is equal to 5b plus 3. I plugged in b as 2. So h is equal to 5 times 2 plus 3 equals 13. Why don't I now plug in my new r and my new h? Because volume is equal to pi times r squared, well, r is 4, times h is 13. And if I type that up and put it in my calculator, which trust me, you get a calculator on this problem, I get that my volume is 208 pi. That's our target answer. Again, X marks the spot. I found my buried treasure. So if I plug my answers back in here, remember y'all, we said b is going to equal 2. So if I went in and plugged in b equals 2, I get a 52 pi, a 208 pi, a 208 pi squared. Be careful, don't forget that. It is pi squared in this problem, and a 660 pi. I had to chug through every answer, but you could see the second answer was the correct answer.